and welcome to the Command Center demonstration. I'll be going through the Command Center portal interface, showing you how you can manage a fleet of instances across any customer or customers, and access all the information across these different utilities in the one place. And then we'll do a little bit of a deep dive afterwards and go through just how it all functions in the back end. This is probably going to be broken down into 2 or 3 videos, one being the portal interface, the second being the server functionality, and then the third being the client functionality. So you can skip to those videos at any point should you want to target that information. Okay, let's get started. So Command Center is really around being able to track, monitor, and manage instances from a single point, and that being an instance of your choosing. If you're an MSP, it may just be a designated instance. If you're just a large customer, it may be any one of the instances that you have Command Center installed on. You can install the server and the client on the one machine if you wish to do so, but quite often it'll just be many clients to one server. Okay, so we've got a dashboard view here, and straight away you can get real-time updates across instances. You get a good understanding of what their versions are, how many users are logged in, how the memory is tracking, and what are the mid-server statuses, error count, and so forth. You'll notice there's green bars next to it. It's because we've got the health of the instance also tracked. You've got some default system settings to measure that health, or you can set your own health guides as well. We call these metric guides. So if I enable these, you'll see they've all switched to red because I've set the memory threshold to 60%, node count to 2. You can do CPU threshold or error threshold should you wish to measure and track instances a little bit differently. And that's all in the user settings. Just while we're here, I'll also show you can change the color should you wish to be that way inclined, or you can enable and disable the different utilities that are shown up here. So if I want to disable the health, you'll see that it stops showing there. Pretty handy if you're on small screens or mobile devices and you just want to track, say, health or usage, and not be bothered with anything else there. So let's head back to the dashboard view. That's all looking good. Obviously, if you've got 100 instances, you're going to have 100 tiles here, and it will just auto wrap all the way around. If you want to drill down or group by a particular customer, you can just select the customer you want to measure, and it will just show the instances that those instances belong to. So really easy to filter down that way. So as soon as we hit on one of the utilities, you go into what's called a results view, and what you can do is you can just select any one of these instances. Once you select the instance, it'll go and get the information and return the information to you as it's available. A couple of things to note. You've got a timestamp here that shows you latest updated time, so you know whether the data's current or not. And then you've got access to all the stats that you would typically have on that instance. Now the cool thing here is you're able to access this information from this entry point. You don't have to go and log into these instances. It's all being facilitated by that server-client relationship. Likewise, if you want to move into view the usage, and this is a bit of a transactional view of how your users are using the platform. And we're not being instance specific here. We're actually saying, well, from a user perspective across any instance, what does that user do? And you can drill right into down to the second. Okay, could be any of those transactions that you might be interested in. You can then hover over that and view what they were doing, what table they were viewing. If I do zoom right out, you'll see that it gives you a transaction count for that time frame. Okay, and it actually orders the most used or most hit tables to the top of the chart. Okay, so if I zoom out, you can see there across several hundred, even thousands of transactions across those different tables. So you've got that ability. You can check out many users if you like. So you can put in a list of emails, hit get usage. It'll then go and collect that usage for those users as well. Once that comes back, it'll just reset the usage chart and you're good to go again. There you go. Excellent. Okay, so the next one is being able to compare instance information. So in this case, you may have want to know what the plugins and what the applications are that are installed on the on instances, and you can basically just open these up and do a side-by-side comparison around what's installed, what's not installed. Gives you a good indication of how those instances are being used, what licensing implications you may have around what applications are installed, and so on. Table comparison, you can also do any table. So when you collect table information, I know we've got some information around the sys properties. You type in that. You can also do a schema drill through if you want to. So you select your base table and then you select the associated properties under the tables, under those base tables. Here we've got some information around the sys properties, and you can just do a quick compare. Maybe we select another instance as well. And you can see that these are very much the same. If there's any difference, that'll be obvious straight away around, hey, I've got more records in one, why is that? Or I've got different attributes, how come there's been a customization on that table? And you can easily pinpoint that across any of those instances. Then we get down to the lower level information. If you look at the record comparison, sort of an extension of the table comparison. However, this will give you a difference view between the different attributes. So if there were any differences here, you'd be able to see those straight away, and it'll show you what those differences are. Testing, so what we're able to do here is look at the testing information. I know I've got information on 2556. You select your test results that you want to view. And what this does is collects the information. So here we can see that we've got a successful test result, and then you can check the test result information as well. So we did a record query and we did a record validation. You can click on the summary here. Okay, they found 16 records that match the query. Quite successful. And then we can do a record validation. It could be something as simple as an SSO configuration or some other configuration within the application that you're testing, and you'll be able to view all those results here. Great for regression testing. Update sets, you'll be able to quickly view the status of the update sets, what's in the system, what's in progress, and what's complete. Okay, gives you a good side-by-side comparison there of the different update sets that are across there. Domain separation, for when that's active on particular instances. You can view, we've just got some demo data here at the moment, but you can view unused domains. You can look at the domain count, domain tiering, and any circular dependencies, and it highlights anything that needs to be remediated. Okay, so that's very much it. They're the utilities we've got. In the next video, we will go through just how all this works. Cheers.